Hello my friends, I hope you're all doing well during this crazy time in human history. As some of you might know, I was away for 3 months. I went to Iran to visit my family after 8 years and everything went downhill at the end of my stay. Thankfully, I could spend some time with them before everything went crazy, but that doesn't change the fact that everything is so bad right now for Iranian people. Either they are outside of the country or they are living in Iran. Both are really bad situations. I don't want to go too much in depth. I already have so much survivor's guilt myself, so I don't want to get too much in depth about all of us that are outside the country. Today and yesterday was actually the start of having some messages from Iran. We still cannot talk on the phone. It gets disconnected constantly and we are all worried that it's gonna go back to whatever it was. If you have been following the news, you probably know what is happening there. I'm not gonna explain it in detail in this video, but since I wasn't feeling good, I thought maybe I should put on some makeup, especially since this is my job, full-time job now. I also have an Instagram account that I am active there as well, but because of everything that is going down, I am just using my Instagram account to post the stories about Iran and what is happening there. But YouTube is actually my job, so I cannot stop forever. This is the first video that I'm recording after being away, everything that you have seen, and the next video or also the video after that might be a video that I have recorded before I went to Iran, like 3-4 months ago. I just wanted to show up here and thank you all for all of your support. When I was away, we hit 1K subscribers and we are at 1.2 subscribers at the moment. I couldn't post that many videos while I was away because the internet is absolutely awful. Even when it is working, it usually takes me the whole night to upload a video, so I couldn't upload that many videos, but I'm very close to getting monetized. So if you haven't watched some of my long videos and you want to support me, I would appreciate it if you go watch those long videos because I need watch hours to get monetized. 1K subscribers is not enough. And for today, I just wanted to feel a little bit better, so I changed my background and I wanted to show up here and try some new makeup that I have ordered while I was away or when I came back, so that we can try them together. Especially I wanted to try this Hermès foundation because I know a lot of my subscribers like luxury foundations based on the views that I get, so I wanted to try this one for you guys. This is absolutely outrageously expensive. $145 for a foundation is unacceptable, but this is Hermès and we know that they are crazy with their prices. I also wanted to pick up an eyeshadow palette from them, but then I was like, this is not new. You guys already have seen a lot of reviews about them. So if you are interested in me trying and giving you an honest review of any of the Hermès makeup, just let me know. For now, we are doing this, and I also picked up the new Chanel concealer and some other stuff that aren't necessarily new. I have my palette here. I'm trying to change up my background. I hope you like it. It's not complete yet. I'm working on some lighting and some things, so it's not finished yet, but I think it looks better than before when you saw all of my room. All right, this is the Hermès foundation. It retails for $145 before taxes. I picked up shade 25W ROTIN, I think. This is how the package looks like. It is Hermès, so it has a fairly innovative packaging. This is the inside, the famous orange color of Hermès, and this is the box. This is how the bottle looks like. Glass packaging, frosted at the bottom, and the famous Hermès logo. It looks like their lipsticks and their other makeup. And this is how the pump looks like. I think this is my first ever Hermès anything. I mean, I like luxury products, but Hermès is just weirdly expensive. I don't think I would pay this amount of money for a foundation if it wasn't for my YouTube channel, but for those of you who are interested, I just wanted to review it. This is called a Luminous Matte Skincare Foundation, which seems to be very popular at the moment. Luminous Matte and skincare, we see it on a lot of foundation packaging these days. I'm actually gonna use a sunscreen that I use under makeup, and I know it works well on half of my face and nothing on the other half. I want you guys to see the performance, and I want myself to see how it works with sunscreen underneath. So on the side of my face, I am using the Supergoop Mineral Glowscreen. This is a sample size I have. It was launched a couple of months ago, I think, and I like it. I've been using it ever since I picked up the sample, and I'm really happy with the texture. Dries down after a couple of minutes, so it doesn't look this much glowy, and it doesn't affect the texture of my foundation. I'm gonna pick it up from my palette and first apply it to the side that I didn't apply anything. I want to give this one a little bit of time to sit down. I'll show you a swatch of this foundation in a little bit. It has a fragrance to it. It is more of a wet formula than what I like. It is a little bit too serumy. It takes it some time to settle down. I see my brush strokes on my skin. A little bit of clinging to dry patches here. I don't know if you can see, but I have a lot of them at the moment. I did a lip tint, and whenever I look in the mirror, it distracts me. I also did some microblading on my brows. It feels very lightweight. I'm almost finishing up those 2 pumps. I wouldn't even consider this a medium coverage foundation. This is medium coverage on the back, but this is not medium coverage to me. It feels more like a light coverage one. With 2 pumps, I expected more coverage. Not that I need it, but some people need more coverage when they are picking up a medium coverage foundation. And that is probably because it is a little bit more watery than what I'm used to with medium coverage foundations. This is this half of my face. This shade is perfect for me, 25W. It almost looks like my skin. It is looking good right now. The shade is perfect. Usually with luxury foundations, I never can find my shade. This is the perfect shade. Let me swatch this one for you on my hand while this side of my face is drying down. It looks a little warmer than what it actually is in the camera. You know what is interesting? You can see it yourself. While I'm blending this out, maybe that's why they call this medium coverage. It doesn't lose the coverage as much as I thought. Maybe I need to use my fingers for this foundation. This is it blended out. You can see the lines. Perfect color for me. I can see the clinging to dryness here, but again, I have a lot of dry skin on my face right now because I've been doing retinoids for a couple of days back to back. This is drying down to a little bit more of a matte finish than when I first applied it. And this is how it looks like on my skin. This is before and this is after. I'm gonna use my fingers on the side of my face. This is half a pump almost. And then we are gonna go ahead and swatch some foundations next to this. This has a very soft texture to it. It feels like a serum. Again, I don't think this is a medium coverage. Another half a pump. Let's see if we can build this one up. The application was not that different on the 2 sides. Now that I'm using more, I am smelling the scent a lot more powerful. The same issue here with my dryness and here, but this feels super lightweight on my skin. And this is after it has settled on my skin. I think there is a very teeny tiny amount of oxidation after drying down. which is very common. This is the color after it dries down, but it still works for me. There is no peeling on top of that sunscreen. It doesn't feel set. It doesn't feel set on my hand either. So we'll see what happens by the end of the video. If it's still not set, I might use a powder on top of it. Oh, the foundation got into my mouth and I can taste the scent now. Alright, that's the foundation. Applied to both sides. This side had the sunscreen, was with fingers. This side was with brush. I feel like both look the same. I obviously have to use this one a lot more, but to be honest, this does not feel like a $145 foundation. I feel like we have something like this in the market. I cannot think of it right now, but this is nothing special. I prefer these two a lot more. I don't know if you remember or not, I changed the color for my Victoria Beckham one. I had color 4 initially, now I have color 3. The Carolina Herrera one is a better color for me. It is more of a golden color, but it is a little bit too dark. Carolina Herrera one is this one. It is color L220 and the Victoria Beckham one is the color 3. And this top one is the Hermès one. You see, it feels like it never dries down or it never blends in with your skin. You see, I am rubbing this in and instead of getting into my skin and absorbing, it is giving me streaks. This is such a weird formula. I'm sure if you blend it out for a while, it's gonna look good. But I actually prefer the Carolina Herrera foundation a lot more and it is half the price. I also like the Victoria Beckham one, but this one I have noticed it is a little bit tricky sometimes to work with. Sometimes it looks a little bit too oily on my skin, but that is the look of it. That's not actually what it is. I love the Carolina Herrera one the most. It doesn't have as much longevity as I expected it to have, but I do like that one in general because I never expect my foundations to wear more than 8 hours. I've never found a foundation that looks natural that wears more than 8 hours. These foundations that I'm talking about, the Victoria Beckham one and the Carolina Herrera, those two are both foundations that wear gracefully. So if you lose some coverage by the end of the day, it's not that much. The only thing is that you see here, I don't know what this line is. I even tried scraping it, as you can see here, but it comes back. It is super weird. I am getting some itchiness here. This is the area that I get my eczema the most. It might be the fragrance. So if you have sensitive skin, maybe try a sample of this one first because this might bother you. I feel like I can smell the scent a lot more and it is starting to bother me. So I'm not sure this is sensitive skin friendly. And to be honest, it's not that good to pay this amount of money for. Now that these all have had some time to settle down, you see this is Carolina Herrera, this is Victoria Beckham, and this one is the new Hermès foundation. It is my problem areas that this is not looking good, and now my eyes are burning from, I think, the scent in this. Now let's try this Chanel Ultra Le Tint concealer. I do have their previous version of their concealer, which is called Le Correcteur de Chanel. I have shade BD11 in this one, and in this one I picked up shade B10 because there was no BD11. This is a shade BD11 in their previous concealer, which I do like that concealer. It is a good concealer. It is more creamy. It reminds me a lot of the NARS Radiant Creamy concealer that is in the same tube. That one is a little bit drier. This one is a little bit more user friendly. And the new concealer looks like this. It is in a packaging that is a lot bulkier than what they had before. I think this was plastic and this is glass now. The new concealer is a lot more watery in texture. This is the new one, this is the old one. As you can see, this color was perfect for me. This is a little bit too light and too peachy or neutral for me. This looked a lot better on my skin. I'll use them side by side so that you can see how they look and how they differ. But I believe this is a little bit more watery and this was a little bit more creamy. I really liked this concealer. This wasn't my favorite. I feel like the old version was a little bit less self-setting and the new one is a little bit more setting and it is more crease proof, I think. I'm not sure, I have to use them side by side. I'm gonna use the old version in the color BD11 on this side of my face. I like the packaging of the older version better. I know this looks a lot more luxurious, but this is not good for traveling. The older version is 7.5 grams, the new version is 8.5 grams, but I believe this one is a lot more expensive than the previous version. This is the old one in the shade BD11, which is my perfect shade. For this, I'm gonna use my new favorite concealer brush. This is the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N19. They now have their singles of these. I think they also sell at Ulta Beauty now, and they also have a TikTok shop. I love BK Beauty brushes, but these are next level, and I never thought I'm gonna say this because these shapes aren't my favorite shapes. This is her N20 brush. I thought I'm never gonna use such a brush, but I'm glad I tried them because now I love this brush for bronzer and blush. If you have watched my channel, I usually use bigger brushes for bronzer and blush, and whenever I see someone using a small brush, I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? But now I'm addicted to this. I love hair brushes in general. So if you were thinking about picking them up, I am telling you, if you have my style of makeup, you won't be disappointed. These are great quality. And this brush is not too soft, is not too hard. This is the perfect brush. Alright, I let it sit a little bit because I wanted it to dry down a little bit and give me a little bit more coverage. And this concealer looks better when it dries down a little bit. In my opinion, it gives me a better coverage. It looks a lot more full coverage, and I'm doing this because I know the other one is a little bit more full coverage than this one. I'm gonna apply this one to this side of my face. I'm not gonna apply as much because I know this has a little bit more coverage. I'm cleaning up my brush.
Not anything offensive. I am from the tourist part of Iran myself. We are considered more Azeri than tourists, but this is what I think.
These look exactly the same to me. I thought they are different, but when I look up closely, they look exactly the same. But I have a feeling the new concealer is a lot more crease proof. Foundation is still tacky, still emollient, it still moves around on both sides, and I'm still hearing the scent. I'm gonna do the eyes first, then continue on with everything else. This is the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Haze mini eyeshadow palette. This was launched in TikTok a couple of months ago, but they recently launched it on Sephora and Ulta, so I picked it up to review it. I really like the other eyeshadow they have, which you will see a review of that one in my full face of ABH, which is coming up very soon. That is one of the videos that I recorded before I left. And I also have this one, which is a newer launch from them, but I prefer to use this one some other time. I don't want to use both of them together. I like the quality of the other one that I use in that video, but I was really interested in the color story of this one. This is the one I'm talking about. This is the Sultry palette. This one is more cool tone. This one is more neutral. If you want a side-by-side comparison or swatch of these, just let me know. I'll do a hand swatch or a face swatch for you guys in a short video. I am going to use this color all over my eyelids first. I'm not gonna tap it too much. I want a little bit more impact of this color on my eyelids. This looks like a good creamy color. Now I want to use this color and see how it looks like on my eyelids. I was applying this lighter color to my inner corner. Let me apply this shade to my under eyes first, and then we'll decide what we are gonna do next. I'm using this middle shade all over my lid. I just want to see how it looks. This eyeshadow palette is gorgeous. I love it. Look at that blue. It feels a bit drier in the pan, but wow, that is a gorgeous blue. And this one, the purpley one, look at that. I kind of want to apply that to my outer corner now. For my mascara, I'm gonna use this new Rabanne mascara. This is their Eyéphoria 3XL and it is the color 3XL black. Apparently this is a tubing mascara and this is one of those ones that I like. This is how this looks like. It is a very luxurious looking packaging, but this is plastic. This is not metal. I'm not mad because this is a lot less heavier. I'll put every information in the description box. I just want to try and see. Yeah, this is what I thought. It is a bit of a drier formula. I myself am not a huge fan of tubing mascaras, especially when they are on the thicker side. And I think this is one of those that will make your eyelashes stick together, but we'll see. As you might know, I love my miniature mascara from Tarte, which is this one, but I've been really loving this one from Kosas. This is the Soul Gazer mascara. I like this one. I know that I told you guys I'll update you about this one. I have used it for a couple of times, like more than a couple of times for a few weeks now, and I really like this one. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake. A little bit clumpier than what I like, but it doesn't look bad. It actually looks good, very lengthening. Just an update, these two concealers look very similar. I still feel like the one that is the newer one, the new Chanel concealer, is a little bit more crease proof. I can see a little bit of moving on this eye, but this eye looks a little bit more flawless. You can see I'm losing a little bit of my coverage right here. And that is not because this concealer is a bad concealer. I have a very, very dry skin right now and it is very flaky. This foundation is still looking very glowy. I wouldn't call this a luminous matte foundation. I feel like it still looks very glowy and it hasn't settled that much. It feels like a serum on the skin. For my bronzer, I finally picked up this ambient lighting bronzer from Hourglass in the color Nude Bronze Light. I've heard really good things about this one. I applied it once onto my face with this BK Beauty Nikki La Rose N20 brush. I want to apply it again. I feel like I really like this color. It is a very light neutral color. This is the swatch, that's the stain from the blue eyeshadow from the Haze eyeshadow palette from ABH. This is the color of this bronzer. I think this works really well for me, especially with the top I'm wearing. So I'm gonna apply this one to my forehead first with this beautiful, soft, gorgeous brush. You see how natural that looks on my skin? A little bit on the cheeks. By the way, I didn't powder. I just wanted to see how bronzer looks straight on this foundation, which it looks good, but this is an amazing powder. So don't think that every powder is gonna look this good on the foundation before doing any setting. I feel like the foundation is disappearing from here too. I don't want to ruin the under eyes, but at the same time I want to set them so that they don't look too glowy. I'm gonna use the Givenchy powder, the Prisme Libre pressed powder in the color Mousseline Pastel 01. I'm gonna use the same brush as I used for my concealer, which is the Nikki La Rose BK Beauty N19. This is a little bit of a lighter powder for me, but I like it for brightening the under eyes. And if you saw my review of Givenchy Beauty, I really like this powder. Both of these concealers are working well with this powder. Oh, I love this powder. My lip tint is actually not looking bad with this makeup. Let me apply a brow gel. I'm gonna use this Morphe brow gel, which is called Micromanager Gripping Brow Gel. This is a newer one to my collection. I'm still trying brow gels. I have found some good ones that I really like. And I like them enough to not repurchase my ABH brow gel for now, even though that one is my most favorite brow gel. For my blush, I'm gonna use this Burberry Outdoor Blush. This is a Longwear buildable color Weather Protection. I don't know what that means for a blush. This is the packaging. It is absolutely gorgeous. I only picked up one shade. Look at that detail, which is the shade I had my eyes on for some time. This is shade 11. As we know, it comes with a brush. I don't use the brush. It is so creamy. This is the color. This looks more like a hybrid between a bronzer and blush on me, probably, but I really like this color. It looked a little bit more neutral in the swatches than this. I cleaned the Nikki LaRose N20 brush. I feel like I need to pick up another one of these because I use it for both blush and bronzer. This is a cute color. This is the area that I lost some coverage from the foundation. And I feel like it is making this blush and bronzer look patchy there, but it is actually not the fault of this blush or bronzer or even the foundation. It is my skin that is super patchy right now, most probably. But I really like the texture of this blush. It looks a little bit warmer on the skin than what it looks in the pan. Maybe I should have picked up the color that is a little bit more mauvey toned. I might do that. I really like the texture of this blush. It actually made the texture of my skin better. It looks very natural texture wise. For the lips, I'm gonna apply this Blurred Matte Lip Plump from About Face. This gives you a little bit of stain on your lips after you clean them up, which is what I'm gonna do right now. The color is opulent. I'm not gonna make it look perfect because I wanna clean it up. This gives you a little bit of cooling sensation on your lips, and it also has a tint. It leaves a tint that looks a lot better on your lips than the lipstick itself. This is a kind of a moussey matte lipstick. All right, my friends, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for staying here. If you're not, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I know there are more things that are happening in the whole world right now. I mean, we all watch the news. I'm just hoping that humanity's sanity comes back soon. And let's hope for a better world for everyone. That's all I can say.